Let's discuss. Hey everyone, it's Rachel back again with another reaction video, and today I'll be checking out a new track from Downswing. It came out recently called No Solution, and I've heard their 2020 album Good Intentions, which is how I know of this band, but the reason that this track is on my radar is because Jonathan Dolese reached out about this track, who does a lot of mixing, mastering, production stuff that I love on the channel. Rogue, Cane Hill, there are a lot of bands that he is working with, seeing his name around a lot, so when he reached out about it, I of course wanted to be sure to check it out because his word is as good as any, and he's one of those sounds I'm getting more familiar with when it comes to mixing, mastering, different production things. I would say it's like him, Lance. I've talked a bit about the channel on this, and so I'm getting more interested in that, so needless to say, when I saw a DM from him about this, here we are now, very shortly after. So I will link all of Downswing's social media as well as the video I'll be reacting to, and Concrete Studios, which is Jonathan's, how he works, what his business is done through is under Concrete Studios. So I'll link all that in the description. Other than that, I'm going to stop talking and we are going to get straight into it.
I've given all I've had to give, still stuck in a rut. Now I can't help but think, what if it's not enough? Always providing for the skin of my teeth. Try not just to keep my head above the waves, but I'm sinking. I know that lately I'm absent, falling apart at the seams. I'm lost, yours, let me walk, leave me fading away. Stuck on the feel like it's so late. Lost my meaning in a world devastated. There's no solution. I'm the pieces that got away. There's no solution. Maybe I am the fucking place. Everybody tells me that I should have a little more faith, so when I die, I'll stay alive, shining at the end of the tunnel. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. No, there's no solution. God, please. No, there's no solution. I know there's no other way out.
Alright, bass. Alright, Jonathan, I see.
What a possibility. Released from the soul to a misery. Finally open to break free. Believe a better end could be an end to the pain. And I'm afraid that it's secret. Dig down, come down into my bones. There is no easy way to let go, but I can see it clear. I finally found the reason to explain all my pain.
With the bassy outro?
Love like a killer.
Downswing, No Solution, let's discuss. Probably one of the Downswing songs I will put on repeat the most, which is a great sign for me for whatever is to come off this. There are a couple of reasons why. Initially, my first listen to Downswing, that was off Good Intentions, that album in 2020. I still remember really digging the vocals, but in some places it just wouldn't feel, I guess stand out enough to where I'd be coming back to that album as much as I had wanted to. 2020 was a stacked year for music. With this release, it feels like what I really dug off of the tracks that I liked the most off of that album, but also a bit different. Having it, first of all, where it opens up to that like bassier part towards the end to begin with, I absolutely loved that. I've talked about it most recently, I think, in my 156 Silence video about how they give the bass a lot of room to shine through. This is another great example of a band doing that, but also coming back around to it for the outro. Right now, I feel like we're in, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but the common thing is to be doing an outro breakdown right now. And I'm not saying that's a new or recent thing. It's been around for obviously a long time, probably as long as breakdowns have really been around. It probably didn't take that long for someone to add it on the end, so you don't need to quote me on the first band that ever did it, but we're seeing that more often is really what I mean. And I love a good outro breakdown, so don't get me wrong, I love that, love being hit with it, but having this go back into that bassiness there, which I dug to begin with, it sort of threw me for a loop anyway. Also, I loved the sound of it, so that outro definitely pushing for me for this song and the repeat for me. I love having that bass come through, but going out on it is a little bit different. So anyway, just overall production on this track as expected, sounding phenomenal. The vocals really stick out to me as something I like a lot, which I had mentioned on my first listen to Downswing ever. That was immediately something that stuck out to me. So having it on a song like this that feels like the rest of it really follows in quality, I guess is what I would be trying to say here. That's the context I love this the most in, and why I think it will be on repeat the most. The mix nailed by Jonathan as expected. Also, if you listen to the intro, it's sort of like, the chords used in those intros, and really just like the overall sound of the guitar is sort of lighter and more, I don't really know the adjective I want to use there, but then as it goes into more of that like head bobbing, stank face type of, sound, I guess like that intro just really led up to a good point to get there. But then beyond having like that in your face heaviness, which it definitely has here, and I love, those parts where it opens up more really make it stick out a little bit more. The vocals, like I mentioned, being a standout part for me. Just overall, Downswing being another band that's really heavy, but still a little something. I think it also has a lot to do, like, probably with Jonathan and such, because there are a few bands that he works with that I feel, are riding that super heavy line with things that make them still have that on repeat characteristic as well, whatever that is, which I'm still trying to pinpoint, especially for like just under a 3-minute song too. This feels really full, like it went where it needed to go still, because seeing that, even though I think it was 2:59 or something, first looking at it and seeing that under 3-minute mark, for me in my head, I feel like that automatically makes me go, all right, it's gonna have to be like, a thorough 3 minutes, and it was. So for me, on repeat, this will go. Probably my favorite, or one of my favorite Downswing tracks. I need to do some revisiting in their discography, because as I mentioned, after listening in 2020 a bit, it didn't really carry over for me past that. So doing some re-listening will be good, but seeing them working with Jonathan definitely has me excited for all the reasons I had mentioned. So as I said, Downswing's social media, the video that I reacted to here, Jonathan Dolese / Concrete Studios, all of that will be in the description. Other than that, in the link tree, I knew those weren't the words I wanted to use, yet there they were. Other than that, in the description, you can also find my link tree, which will have, as always, the invite for the Discord server that I talk about in every single video. It's got a bunch of my favorite people in there. We've got music-related conversation. We've got channels for unrelated to music conversation as well, like pets, games, shows, things like that. So if you're interested in coming and join the community, that will be there, as well as my Instagram profile link, where I do keep it all music related. Sometimes I'll remember to post on my story about new YouTube videos or new songs that I found recently. I post a lot of merch, vinyl, sweatshirts, t-shirts, flags. I have a never-ending merch collection, and I'll usually post once or twice per week as something from my collection. Shows, if I've been to a show recently and have pictures or videos to share, I may share something from that. And then every Friday I post a chart of what I have listened to the most over the course of that week, a top 25 EPs, singles, albums, just depends on what I have been listening to, and I do that weekly. So my handle on there is the same as my YouTube channel. It is Rachel Reacts, but again, I will have it in that link tree in the description if you have any interest in following me. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.